Hello. Okay, today I'm going to explain on the second part, that's part two of C++ programming, uh, of C++ program. Hello. Okay, I'm going to explain what variables are. They are representation of a value or a character, and we can declare and we can also as well assign variables, and we are going to start with declaring a variable. In declaring a variable, we have to list the data type that is going to handle it. And you can just store different kinds of, you can actually store characters, you can store integers, you can store different kinds of variables, even sentences. But let's start with storing all numbers. We're going to name our file today as, this file as what? Two tutorial. Actually, just let's say we are going to name it as part two variable tutorial. Yeah, this sounds better because when you come and actually review it, it is something that you can recall that I was working on variables. I will prefer this. Okay, let's update. Okay, they say that this file is not available. Alright. Let me work on it again. So we're going to start a new, I'm sorry, we go to something else. New project. We're going to start an empty one, and so Mac is a default language. And then we are going to get started. Our project is part two, variable tutorial. I prefer this because it actually just sounds better and something that you can recall while previewing it. And so let's save this. Okay, we're going to get started with our program. So hashtag include string, and then after that we are diving to our main function. which is an integer. Yeah, and then to make the process much easier and so as not to forget, we're going to start with our closing remark, which is return 0. This is something that is a must at the end of every program. Mhm. So let's type int for integer. Let's declare a variable. We are now declaring a variable. Just and let's say our variable will be named as x or just x. Okay, let's use x because it's memorable and we actually just use it in different much more many times than any other alphabet. This now is actually declaring a variable. So let me describe it so that we can. I hope you still remember these comments. So let me just add a comment so that we can recall that this was declaring a variable. And let's move to assigning variables. So let's assign the variable which is x, and because it is an integer, we are going to assign an integer number, something like 5, or actually just let's say something like 5. This means that this variable which is x was handling what? It was having a 5 in it. This is just like a box. So it has a 5 on it. Let's display our value. Let's try displaying it, whether it has, which value does it display at the end of the day. So standard output. We want to display a variable x, isn't it? So yeah, let's see. Let's try running it. Compile and run. How did we name this one? We named it as part2 variable part2 variable tutorial. But you can just use a short name of course, there is no problem. But let's just mm, run. It seems there is a problem. Let's try to see what's happening at the end of the day. There must be a problem. That's in number one. So extra tickets. This is a normal. These are things that are just normal, and we have to. Okay. Oh my goodness, we placed some double brackets, ankle brackets. We have to remove them. Oh, sorry. But this is something that happens. It's normal. Now let's try return. What did we do surely? Can you see this? It's written 0, return 0, and we can now run. Sure, good. We can see that it displays 5, which is the value held by variable x, which is an integer, and we're doing it right. Oh, in this part we were assigning it. In the first part we were declaring variables, but now we were assigning a variable. Mm. You can you can you can use these two steps, but if you just know what value your variable holds, you can just do it in the other way around, which means that you can do it without declaring it because you already know what value you you know what type of value your variable is holding. For instance, you know that it holds a 5, which is an integer, so you can just do it directly. And let's try running it, see if it is going. Oh, sure, that's amazing. You can see that you can do it in all other ways, and yeah, that's it. The first process you can use it when you don't know what variable will be, what data type the variable will be holding, or yeah, so you can use this one when you are suggesting the user to enter a value that you cannot know exactly the value. This one you can use it when you are doing your own things and you know everything about it. So let's introduce another variable. and assign it. Let's assign it a 4, not a 4, but an 8, and then let's try to display. We want to try display what y is also displaying, what the variable y is holding. And so in that process, we're going to just uh, copy these, and let's paste it. Let's paste this one here to make the work easier, and we have to change the name because we are going to display the variable y. Okay. And now let's run. Let's try to see what it displays. Yeah, amazing. But you can see that it displays 5 and 8, but the problem here is that they all those two of them are in the same line. So we have to again add a line. Let's add an end line here. I'd like us to add an end line. Yeah, so that it can be more presentable. Amazing. You can see that the first variable is holding a 5 and the second one an 8, and this is good to go. And we can also do something of this sort. Let's try to do the sum of it. Let's try to add the variable x and y and see what the product is. So because it is an integer, so we're going to hold it in a variable which is an integer variable. So and the variable name will be sum because we are going to add it. Let it all. So let it all x plus y. And let's see if this is working, how this is working. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't display it, so it's not. Let's display this sum. We just copy and paste it. You can just have to copy these. You can just have to. Let's try copying this one and we're going to copy this and just paste it to make work much easier. So let's paste it here. And let's not forget that we have to add a line here. We will have to make a line here to make the work much presentable here. Yeah. I hope this thing is getting deeper and deeper and clearer in your minds because I'm really enjoying this process. Let me hope you're doing the same. Let's try to compile and run it. But we're doing something wrong. I can see that. Why didn't we have not named what are we to display? So we have to display the variable sum, isn't it? So and now let's try to compile Windows. Wow, this is amazing. You can see that it is displaying the 10, which is the sum of 5 and 8. 8 plus 5, we're going to get the 10. That, yeah, and this is it. And mark you this that there are different and many variables that depending on what you want to use, you can use different data types. When you talk about int, that means integer and it stores integers. It displays all integers such as 1, 2, 3. For instance, to open a new project so that you can demonstrate what uh, the variables the variables that are integers are going to hold an integer and when we declare it as int. So let's try opening another new project so that we can see. Oh no, let's just add a new one besides it. Add to project. And we can use it, just name it as demo, integer, variable demo, variable demo. Let's make it much present. Okay, let's open another to demonstrate another project to demonstrate what we are talking about. We're simply going to start it again. The simple project. integer int main, and finally we are going to input our main function, return 0, and then we're good to get started on learning what integers means. So that integers are all numbers, integer variable. So when a variable is an integer, we're going to store it a whole number, such as 1, 2, 3 without a decimal. And so let us try to put it down. Mark here this so that you cannot remember, you cannot forget. So let's declare our variable, which is an integer, just let's say an age. We'll talk about an age. Which age can we put it down? Let's talk about 20. This is much better. We can also have an variable, name it year. Let's say an year. So integer int, the variable will be an year, and okay, let's put down 2026 because we are in 2026. Also days are integers, you can say int days. How many days of the week? 7 days of the week. Let's put this down. And don't forget to close it with a semicolon, which is meaning the end of the sentence. All these ones, because they are integers, they are going to just store all numbers. And let's talk about what if we change it to a decimal. Let's try changing this one to a decimal number. Let's say 7.7. Uh, 7.6, and let's try to display it, what will happen. Run this, how it will work, because we have replaced this character, which was 7 to 7.6, meaning we have changed it from an integer to something else. Let's see how it is going to run. You can see that it is displaying 7, just an integer, because it's displaying 7 an integer because we declare it as integer, and so it's just going to pick the whole number. Yeah, and so it is truncating the point form, the decimal point, which is 6. And so if you want to store something, that a number that has a decimal point, you have to store it in another, it has its own, it is another data type. So it is being declared as another in another data type. And that's a double. A double can store a character, and it can store a decimal point. So that's a double. If you want to store something that has decimals, you are going to use double data type. This one includes decimals. Mm. And few examples of this may be something like a price, something like shillings, or shillings with cents, or dollars. Let's talk about a price. Just something like, let's talk price, something like double what? Double and just a certain price. We can say 10 double price. Obviously we will not, we have to include the declare it. And let's say it is 10.98 dollars, or something like GPA. That may include a decimal number, such as let's say 3.5, and perhaps temperature can also do the same. Let's get a temperature, something like 23.2. This, yeah, it can be, this temperature can be in Celsius, or yeah, it can be in Celsius. And okay, let's proceed. Let's try to display the price. Let's try to run it and see what it's going to display. Yeah, right. You can see that it's now not truncating the decimal point, and we have 10.98, which is exactly what we entered. Yeah, that's how double works. Yeah, so if you want to output or to display something that has a decimal place, so you have to use the double data type. And so yeah, there is. Now let's go to character, another data type. Characters. Let's talk about characters. What are characters? Is another data type. Students' grades. You can say character. Grade. Grade. And while storing a single character, we're working on single characters. So while storing a single character, we are going to use the single quotations. Yeah, so let's say this student's code. So we are going to put that in. Also, initials are characters. You can just uh, use this. Let's say, for instance, B. No, let's put something else. A B. And then let's try to display it. To display initial. Let's try to display perhaps the grade. You can say grade. Yeah, you can check off grade and add an end line. Standard end line. I don't want, I really like us to cope up with this adding an end line at the end of every sentence to make it much presentable and easy to work with. Let's see what it's going to execute. Wow, you can see that it displays an A, isn't it? And let's talk about what if we add much more characters in this in the initial. Let's say if we add a C and maybe a B, D, and then we run to see what is up. See, yeah. Let's see what will happen. We see that it is only displaying a C and truncating the B, the A. It just displays the last character. This states that a character which is char just displays a single character and not more than one character. Yeah, so for characters it just works with char means it just going to display one character. And okay, let's try another form of character. Let's talk about currencies. And yeah, currency will store a certain symbol, and this may be something like uh, something like a dollar sign. We can just use a dollar sign and see if yeah, and yeah, let's say we are working with currency, so we are going to store a dollar sign. Yeah, dollar sign a dollar sign. Yeah, good. Let's now go to another data type. We can you go to let's try another data type. Uh, perhaps a boolean, boolean data type. This is a variable that this is a data type that has holds variables with only two instances. Let's for instance true and false, true and false, or 1 and 0. And for it, you have to type a bool and a variable name. And it just was something that it holds something that has states. So we can talk about if, let's say, you are a worker or you are not work, you are working or you're not working, or perhaps you are eating, you're not eating, you are writing, you're not writing, reading, not eating, writing, not writing, something that just has two instances. So we can, for instance, say worker, maybe true, you are a worker, or no. So let's say true, and you can be a worker, or can also, it can be false, you are not a worker. Those two instant states. And it's, you can also use this when talking about maybe a power. It can be on, off, meaning zero, false, and true. In summary, this means that when you're using a boolean, you're talking of variables with two instances. And for instance, for Celsius, you can say something is in the store or something is not in the store. And for that, you're going to use um, let's say bool. Is the thing available or not in the store? Let's say available. Let's say the thing is available in the store. It can be available or not. So we can say true, or if it is not there, we can say false. Yeah, that's how the Boolean expressions work. Boolean values, I mean. And now we are moving to another data type, which is a string. Let's look at a string. What's a string? So a string means an object that represents different so strings are objects that represent a sequence of text. It represents a sequence of text. Oops, yeah. When you hear something about a string, just remember it's a sequence of text. And let's try to declare it. So it will be standard string and perhaps standard string, and in the string let's say a name, person's name, and you have to also mark this that when using strings we have to put the text or whatever you have to insert there in a double quotes opposed to a character. And you can just put something inside. For me, I'm going to type my first name. Let's talk about HR. Yeah, char. You can just place it your name. For me, I'm going to use my own name because I love myself. Yeah. And okay, let's test how what is displayed after doing this. Uh-huh. Going to display name and perhaps end it with a line. I really love it when I'm doing my things in an order manner. So I'm going to end with a line. Yeah. And we are going to display, let's try to run it. Wow, this is amazing. You can see that it displays your char. This is my first name, and for you, it displays your own name. Yeah, good. Let's do another example, maybe. Let's display the months of the year. Mhm. And put the months of the year. And for instance, I can just say, let's display January. Let's see what's going to be displayed. Yeah, it is displaying January, which is the first day, the first month of the year, just as we declare it. Wow, this is. And another example, we can also perhaps just use an address, or even an address can be another type of. Uh, let's make it easier by just copying these. Mm, so this, copy these, and perhaps just paste each here so that you can use another, let's say also an address, or say type of a food. Which food do you like? For me, I like, what will I say? Oh my god, for me, pizza. Pizza. It's my food, my favorite one. And then you can also talk of an address. Address. Let's start of. Let's say one. 345. Just we are just faking it an address. We are just faking an address to see how this works. Simply, we are just trying to say that to display that a string is objects that represent a sequence of text. For instance, can you say 345 and this one pizza, January, my name there, char. Those are actually just a sequence of text. And how can we display these together with actually just a text of yours? Maybe you want to say something before the string. So let's try it. For instance, we can say standard output, and for me, I'm just, let's say I want to uh, I want to greet my customer. Perhaps when I am uh, a seller, perhaps I'll say, hey, hey, Mercy, hey, Yator. Okay, for this place, we're going to, because this one is not for Barrymore. Barrymore, we are going to just say name. Ooh, yeah, and then we're going to execute it. And go, that's the hey Yator. That's just what we have tried to run. And let's do something here. We have to pay attention with spacing actually, so that it can look much presentable and readable. Let's see. Hey Yator. And we can also display our age. For instance, I can just and let's use another example. Maybe we want to display my age. So you'll say you are and we can place the variable which is an age. We want to display the age and years old. Years old. And okay, let's run. So hey Yator, you are 20 years old, and that's it. And yeah, this all that we covered today is variables, but just consider that these ones are just some of the data types, but there are more other data types, and we're getting to learn it more and more. Yeah, welcome. Bye. See you and welcome again. Yeah, that's Yator Mercy. This is C++ by Yator Mercy. Part 2. See you. Yeah.